side is this mic?
We can't see.
We're going to beef it up a little bit.
Yeah. How's that? Can you hear me a little better? Yeah. There you go. How are you doing? Look at all these t-shirts. This is really great. Is everybody having a good time here? Yeah. Oh, come on. You know what we do? Can we, we're going to do this. We were talking about these questions, and we figured it would be better to sit down and try to make it more personal and intimate, so we, not as clinical, you know, so we can maybe answer the questions. We were going to bring the bed in, you know, so we can lay on the bed and talk. But we said, we'll try to look comfortable here.
Okay, I guess the first question that we want to ask you is, what exactly happened with KISS, your parting of the ways?
That's going to be your first one. You're going to give me the hardest one first.
The hardest one first.
You sure you don't want to go backwards and then lead up to that?
Okay, you want to get back to that one?
I don't know, is that one good for everybody? Yeah! Crowd participation, that's good, that's good. This I have to tell you is a very, this has been asked of me hundreds of times, and it's really very, very difficult question to answer easily, and it's really emotional. There's business involved in it, a little bit of music, and overall it's just not a simple answer. But I know that some people have gotten a little disappointed that I didn't answer this question really thoroughly at the last convention, because I'm asked a lot. And the way I thought I would answer it is to give you kind of an overall, you know, synopsis of what it was. And back, let's see, after the Creatures, the Lick It Up tour, it ended about March of 1984. And we had a really good tour. We had a really good run of the record. It was an excellent record. We do work well together. KISS and I have always had a fantastic creative relationship. And this is the one thing that I miss with them a lot, because I think we really write quality stuff that I'm happy with, and things that I'm proud of that we've done over the years. But there was a few problems that we really couldn't see eye to eye on, and they were business problems. We really couldn't work together as well business-wise as we could music-wise. And if that could have been corrected, we probably would still be together today. And I hope you enjoy the music as much as I do. I think we did some great albums together, and the tours were great. And I used to record every show, so I have every show on tape that we've ever done, including all the European shows. And it was a lot of fun for me. I wish I could have worked things out.
What would that be?
Hello? Okay. Somebody's... Okay. Am I back here, by the way? There I am. Wow, these are beautiful. Who did these, may I ask? Who are these? Airbrush? Somebody airbrush artists.
Unbelievable. All day doing a show while we've been missing it.
Unbelievable. That's the same person? Unbelievable. Don't you wish you could do something like that? I know I do. Unbelievable.
Behind you for sale.
Wow. How much? $300. I think it's worth it. You got it. Buying all of them, taking them all home.
I think that was a fair answer with the KISS thing. As far as
I think it was.
You say you were telling me earlier that you just didn't see eye to eye, maybe more along the lines of the financial or the paperwork, but musically everything was good. Personally, things were good.
Personally, I think we got along very, very well. I think the music that was created was something I'm very proud of. I know will last a long time. Do all of you here feel that you liked what we did together? Thank you very much. Thanks. Thank you. I think they were great records.
Okay, sorry to have thrown that question.
No, that's okay. I think it deserves to be answered.
Okay.
Was that a good answer? Was that, close enough?
Another band?
What's that?
Have any other bands?
Yeah, we're going to get to that question.
Okay, first of all, tell us about a recording you did in 1976 called Happy Birthday USA.
Great question. Great question. When you asked me that in the car, it was a great question. Cyndi Lauper was married to a guy named Dave Wolf. I knew Dave Wolf in 1972. He heard me playing at a club, and he said, "We got to work together. We're going to make a fortune. We're going to be fame and fortune, and you're a great guitar player and all this sort of thing." And I says, "Well, what do you do?" He says, "I don't know. I just have a lot of great ideas. It doesn't matter." And he called himself Kashmir. And 1976 came around, and he said, "We have to record a song for the bicentennial." And he says, "Can you write a song?" And I said, "Sure." So I sang half of it, he sang half of it. And he says, "We have to call you a name, so let's call you, let's see, Vinnie, what could we use? How about Winnie?" I says, well, I'm not crazy about it, but I said, "What else would you get? What other last name?" He said, "Well, your last name is Cassano, so let's use LeCoux. So we'll call you Winnie LeCoux, and I'll be Kid Kashmir, and this thing will be #1, and we'll have a hit record, and it will cash in on the bicentennial." And he used to lead me into all these crazy ideas. He had everything he thought it was just too crazy to do, and I was really wanted to be a legitimate musician. So we recorded this record at the record plant. I got to meet some of my all-time favorite rock stars there, you know, asking for autographs.
Who'd you meet?
Alvin Lee from 10 Years After, and Leslie West. And Alvin Lee asked to use my guitar, and I'm sitting there going, "Wow, Alvin Lee is using my guitar. Oh, this is too good." And we put our record out, and thank God it flopped. I'm really happy about it, but I still have some souvenirs in my souvenir, chest.
Great.
And you're the only person I've ever known that dug that up. But Rod Stewart, didn't he once go under the name of Python Lee Jackson?
I hope not.
Didn't he? He did. Did he? That's right. That's right. So everybody's got a Python Lee Jackson in, somewhere.
You got to figure someone's going to dig. Everything's going to be dug up.
That's right.
Eventually.
That's right.
Which leads.
I love that T-shirt. That's one of my. I like that. Nice colors.
Which and she just left that one. Very nice.
Oh, sure. Well,
nice guy.
Nice person. She has good taste.
Which leads me to.
We're talking about that. Go ahead.
Okay. Which leads to the second question.
We were trying to figure out questions in the hotel room. Go ahead.
Right. Okay. Did you ever record a second album with the band Treasure?
Treasure started to record a second record, but it wasn't any good. And Felix Cavalier decided to take over the recording contract, and he became a solo artist. And he asked me to play on the record, but it was never a Treasure record anymore. And it disbanded. It's a collector's item. I really wish I had a copy. I don't know where you got that, but there were very few sold, so it was. It's amazing that they're around.
But didn't some of the material lead to something else? Another band? Some of the material that was recorded or starting to be recorded for the second album?
Lead to another band? What band?
Yeah. What was Brian talking about? What was? No. Yeah.
Castles in the Air was the name of that record, and he did ask me to play on it, which I did. But he was trying to return more to what he did, and he was, I'm sure you all hear Good Lovin' and all that stuff a lot, Groovin'. He was the singer and keyboard player for the Young Rascals, and that's who Felix Cavalier is. And when in the 60s when I was, you know, a teenager and coming up, I was really, what, 12, 13 years old. I loved his band, so for me to have been playing with him was really, really something for me. I flipped out, you know, meeting him. But he's still a good friend, you know? I still see him.
Live near him?
Yeah, pretty close.
Well, there you go. Okay. Tell us about an old band called Hunter.
Hunter was my band in 1970 and 1969. Like 69 through 72, that was my band. It was a three-piece band like I always do, guitar, bass, and drums with a high-pitched, you know, lead singer. I wrote all the songs. It was very, you know, very heavy stuff, very Led Zeppelin-y back then, you know, that kind of thing. And did one record, and I think I may have the only copy in existence.
So there was a record release?
There was a record.
And that was while you were still in high school, right?
I was in high school. I always had the most popular band in my town.
So you released an album while still in high school?
Mm-hmm. That's what happened. All right. Are these questions good for you? Or do you want to hear more KISS questions? But, okay, well, we made a good list, I think. They cover a lot of stuff.
Okay, everybody's very interested in knowing exactly, song for song, what you did and didn't do on Creatures of the Night.
No shit. It seems to be a popular subject.
I'm going to name every single song and you're going to say, yeah, I did, or no, I didn't. Okay? Creatures of the Night.
No, I didn't.
There you go. Okay.
There was a guitar player that came in. There were several people that came in. They auditioned. The way the auditions went for guitar players at that time was they had a lot of musicians come into the studio and play, guitar players. And they would try them on several cuts and see which ones fit the band. And there was a few that came in before me, and I was the last, and stayed.
Okay.
But this was done before I got in the band, before I got in the studio actually.
What about the song Saint and Sinner?
That's me on that.
Keep Me Coming?
That's me.
Baby.
Matter of fact, the story, we finished the record in Los Angeles. The record was supposedly done. Keep Me Coming was written after the record was apparently done. And KISS were in New York. And I thought I had seen the last of them. And everyone seemed really happy with the guitar work and looked like it was a well-done record. Everyone was very happy. And I think about a week later and said, hi, we're in New York, we wrote another song, and we're going to fly you in to record the guitar solo for that song. So we had a ball. I mean, recording that record was really a wonderful time.
Does that mean you weren't really spending much time with them between tours, between albums? You kind of went your own ways, or? No,
The Creatures of the Night was the first record that the band did, you know, regrouping again after Ace had left. And they were still formulating, you know, the new band, putting it back together again. And I think they had found what they were looking for with me, and they thought they had had all the songs recorded. They went to mix the album in New York, wrote another song, which was Keep Me Coming, and called me and said, can you come to New York to do the solo for this one? So that was the sign to me that they were very, very happy with me, and I really wanted to please them. I thought it was just a wonderful chance, and I was so proud to be on this record. I mean, it flipped me out being on this record. You know, it was like something that, you know, you dream of, and once in a while your dreams come true, you know. And I went to New York, played on the record, and it went really well. And eventually, I think they said, why don't you stay in New York? You're in the group. And that's basically, you know, how things happened.
What about the song Danger?
Danger, that's me also.
Okay. I Love It Loud?
That's me.
I Still Love You?
That's not me.
You wrote that.
We wrote that, yes. Me
Do
and
you
Paul wrote
know who did that? I Still Love You?
I think it was Robin Ford.
No shit.
I think it was.
Yeah, he's great.
And that was
He was a good guitar.
That was before you came in,
That was
right?
before I came in, right.
Okay. War Machine.
Because here's one thing. I was writing with the band. I was writing with Gene and Paul, but as I was writing with them, it was a really strange thing that even though I was writing, they were still having other players come in. And I don't know, I can't remember, it's been a while, it's a long time ago, but someone had said, well, let's have Vinnie play. you know, after they were auditioning all these players. And then I came in after all the songs were actually recorded. And then, you know, but since, you know, I played on the other remaining songs, but these had already been recorded.
Did you wonder why they hadn't asked you to be a part of the band while you were writing with them? Was that something in your mind, like why are all these guitar players coming in when I'm here and I could do the job and I'm writing with them?
I always used to think that. I used to watch hundreds come in, you know, and go back out.
Is there a reason they told you?
Actually, you know what, that's a good question. It's a very good question. I said to Gene one day, I said, you know, I really think our chemistry is great, and I really would love very much to be in the band, and I think we'd have a great band. And we were working together. We wrote I Love It Loud mainly at Diana Ross's house, because Gene was going together with her at that time. And for me to have been a part of that was surreal, you know. I couldn't believe it, you know, basically living on peanut butter and beans, you know, and being a part of this was just overwhelming. It was something, you know, your mind has to control, you know. But the songs were coming out great, so, you know, this was something so, you know, sometimes in life things present themselves and they're perfect, you know, and this was one of those rare times. And I said to Gene at some point when we were working together, I think this would be a great band. And he says, here's the problem, let me show you why I don't think it will work out. And, you know, Gene, you want,
Yeah, well,
you don't know the answer to this?
I know.
Oh, you know the story?
I think I do.
Does anyone know the story?
Tell it anyways.
Let's hear it.
He's very tall, you know that. Definitely. Very, very tall. One of the tallest people I know. I'm 5'7", which is, I guess it's average. I mean, I don't know, maybe 5'7", 5'9", you know? But took me to a mirror and he says, this is why. And, you know, it was like this. You know, here was him. And I says, I don't think that matters. You know, I really don't think that matters. I said, I think what matters is a good band. And I says, plus, you know, you're wearing all those, you know, platform shoes anyway. So. And I think, you know, the desire that I had to be in the band and work with them, and finding ways to make things work. You know, you find ways, you know. And but when we played together and wrote together, that was the answer. You know.
Okay.
That was it. I told the tale. You know?
I kind of lost my place here. I don't know. Did I mention one?
Are these good answers, by the way? Are they good? They're true. Anyway.
War Machine, was that something you played on?
Yes, that's me.
Okay. Rock and Roll Hell?
No, that's not me.
Okay. Do you know what?
No, I don't know who that was. I don't know.
Okay. And the last song we have listed here is Killer.
That's me also.
Okay, great.
Oh, we did Back in the Streets for that record. That was a song that I wrote. That was how I first got introduced to them. Their producer was Michael Jackson.
Not to be confused with Michael Jackson.
To be confused with Michael Jackson. And anyway, he heard the song. It was a demo that I did. He convinced Kiss to do the song, to record it. And they felt that it would be smart, because it was my song, to have me come in and play it. So that was the first recording I did with them, was Back in the Streets. Paul sang it, and I think it was fantastic. It's still on tape, still in the can somewhere. And I think it would be nice if they released it. He did it. Came out great. I don't know if is anyone familiar with Back on the Streets?
Yeah.
You know it? Great, thanks. And it came out great. He sang it great.
What do you think about Exciter, the solo Exciter, and what happened with that song, and who really did it, and how it originally was, and so forth?
You want the truth or a lie?
Well, we talked about that before. The truth would be good.
The truth is always the best one. I did a solo on that, which I liked.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Vinnie asked me before, there are certain things, he doesn't want to make anybody look bad, but he was kind of treated badly in certain situations, and he tries not to, you know, Vinnie likes to only say good things about people, unlike other people saying things about him sometimes. Vinny's genuinely a nice guy. I mean, I've been with him all day, and he's a really cool guy.
Don't believe it. No. I do. I try to be really grateful for the things that happen to me, and I do like to try to help anyone else that I can. And I know what time it is.
Right.
You know what time it is.
You know what time.
But you know, that's it's everyone has their own way. And anyway, getting back to this, I did a solo for it that I thought was that I liked a lot. I liked it very, very much. And there's a number of them floating around. I don't know, maybe there's some demos of it. And I went home, and after a day at the studio, and I felt this is real good. You know, this fits the song great, whatever. And Gene called me and said, got some bad news. We listened to it, we didn't like it, and we got Rick Derringer to play on it. And I think it was a mistake. I think it was just a style mistake of mixing the wrong style in that, because it wasn't our style, you know. And when you play together as a band, especially from a guitar standpoint, you add your style to the sound of that band, and it kind of gels it all. So it was something that I wasn't happy about, and it marked the beginning of the end. It took a long time to get to the end for me, but it was the beginning of it. And there was a number of things that happened similar to that. And, you know, at some point, that was during the recording of Lick It Up, which was summer of 1983. By spring of 1984, that feeling, you know, just got gradually worse, more intense, and there was a little more dissension. There were contracts that they wanted me to sign to be a member of that band, which, to put it truthfully and delicately, I wouldn't expect anyone in their right mind to ever sign. And I think that was the straw that really broke the back of that particular joining of forces, you know? And the fact that I could not sign this contract with him really caused the final blow. And when I left the Lick It Up tour, I guess we were trying to still work out the contract arrangements, but they were really overbearing, overreaching, and I would have been, shall I say it, or should I not? Say it. Screwed for the rest of my life, along with my children's life, however long I lived.
And your children's children?
Whatever children they had would have been screwed for their life down the line. So, sorry to put it so bluntly, but these are real answers, and it's the truth. And you deal with it whatever way you like, you know? So what ended up happening was we were still trying to make it work out. At the end of the Lick It Up tour, it got gradually worse. It got very out of hand. No terms could be, you know,
you couldn't see eye to eye.
Could not see eye to eye on this contract. And the last I heard from Gene and Paul was, we're each going to write our songs. We're going to be doing a new record real soon. Go record your songs. We'll meet in about 2 months with all of our songs. We'll pick them out for the new record, and we'll record. We'll record the new album. So I went into a studio. I had a lot of songs written. I had Boys Are Gonna Rock. I had Animal. I had Twisted. I've written that. I mean, these were all songs I was going to bring back to Kiss. Well, I had written that earlier, a long time earlier. Thank you. You know what? I like that song. I hope it's on a record soon. Let's see, Boys Are Gonna Rock. I wrote Shoot You Full of Love. These were all songs that I demoed that I was going to come back and say, well, here's my songs for the new record. But something happened during that time period. We really could not reach terms on the contract. And I was so happy with the way my music was coming out in a recording studio that I said, well, maybe this is fate telling me this is what you have to do.
Oh, I'm sorry. Too sorry.
Should've just said hi.
This is Mike, he's also in the
As far as the photo, no one's gonna come around the table with their arm around it. If they wanna take it over the table, is it fine, or
We could probably do it, just see how it
we're
goes.
just gonna have to lean over real quick and then walk
See,
out?
they pasted my head, this is just a mannequin.
Sure, right.
It's just, it's a mannequin. See, Peter, there's no arm.
true?
It's just a mannequin. And they just pasted my head on it. No, see, my arm is like this.
It's just like that.
And Eric had his arm like this, and I was like this.
You weren't on telephone book, were you?
Gene gave me this belt for Christmas.
You still have it?
I still have this.
I give you $100 for
$100?
I'm kidding, I'm kidding.
This belt is famous.
I understand, you're right.
This is infamous. This is going up. This is going to be up at Sotheby's auction house. It's around $100.
Why are you doing this? No way,
The
right
bidding,
there.
Mike, the bidding starts at 1,000.
You got it.
But it starts there.
You ain't gonna get no more.
Well, you want to know how much I've been offered for that belt? Do you want to know?
I believe you, believe it or not.
But I didn't tell you.
But whatever you tell me, I'm not gonna
Whatever I tell you, I'm gonna be believing it.
Look, Mike,
Did that come off the previous costume?
you know. What time it is.
You don't know what time it is. He pulls out that stop bullshit.
Make one
He knows
phone
what
call
time
to
it is.
the party to go.
He pulls that stop bullshit.
One phone call to the club.
See, it's Peter. Here's Peter.
Peter, and then he went back.
Tell Peter it is a mannequin.
This is important.
There is a
This guy.
pole
Pull up your ass.
on my butt and he's holding the mannequin. and he's
Give you
got my head on it.
$100 for the pole.
I have the mannequin at home.
I'll give you $100 for the mannequin.
This is important. The guy is starting the airbrush in the room. Take the airbrush and the canvas.
Dangerous fumes, you can't go out
If
there.
you talk to Bobby,
Oh,
let me know, and then I'll make the phone call to the club.
he's on the what? I mean, I wish I could do that. Just play guitar.
And write.
And
And
he can
sing.
airbrush.
And act.
Act?
What?
I'm not good. I would never want to act.
We really
I'm a bad actor.
But this is the end of it. So this is done.
So you don't have that many that you want me to sign, right? Is that it?
You ready? All right, man. Whenever you're waiting.
We used to sweat a shower. Just somebody was, I would have been in there. All right, just come into the shower. What is this? Actually, it doesn't sound.
Do you know what I didn't ask you is, how long did it take before you got the hang of doing the makeup? Did anybody else do it initially?
Pretty
Just
quick.
show
I used to practice at home, take pictures of myself, perhaps somebody take.
No, just
take my picture, make sure I was right. You know, I used to go.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, just hold it.
I keep moving around. That's
Gina Paul always relating about how he used to do crazy stuff on the road. Did you do anything really crazy?
Me and
You bring the lady back on tour?
pretty easy.